And now for the Q&A.
Hey, how about a question from Levi?
Hi, Levi.
Levi says, I love listening to your podcast and I'm a huge fan of your work. I just have to say that Dee from the show Chance has to be my absolute favorite action hero of all time.
That's awesome, Levi. Thank you.
He says, I had a question about maintenance periods.
Okay.
I'm a 29-year-old male that's gotten back into long distance running after years of weight gain since high school. I just want to lose weight at a steady and consistent pace until I reach my goals, but you talk about maintenance periods on your show, and I confess I don't really understand what those mean and what their purpose is. Would you mind explaining a little more about them, what they look like in comparison to a non maintenance period? Thanks so much.
Yeah. Yes, Levi, great question. And so basically, it's this. Right now in your life, there is a caloric number of energy intake you can put into your body that is the right balance that your body will not store that as fat. If you take that number and reduce it and go into a deficit, your body is going to first tap into the stored fat to kind of make up for what you're not putting into it. If that stays the same, eventually you're going to get to a point where you're no longer losing weight. Unless it's so severe that, or such a deep deficit, with something like that, you run the risk of it not being sustainable. It's going to start messing with your sleep. It's going to your hormones are going to be super taxed. Your body is going to be really resistant to making it through on a super low calorie diet. So what happens is, let's say you go to 25% deficit. After a while, that deficit is just not going to be big enough anymore because you've lost weight to produce a noticeable change anymore. So you'll hit this plateau. So you have to go down again. You got to kind of keep lowering your calories in order to continue losing weight. And so what a maintenance period does is it is a period of time where you are focusing on maintaining your weight. So it is not easy. Like, you're not going back to eating whatever you want. First of all, I like it for two reasons. One, it gets you in the practice of maintaining your weight, which is what you're going to have to do once you lose it, or you're going to gain your weight back. And two, it allows your body to recover from the stress you've put it under with dieting. And then, after a period of time that you've been on maintenance, you go back into your diet, you reduce your calories again, and weight loss should be fairly easy again. Like, I've done so many different versions of dieting where I've done like extremely low calorie, and then the first week is awful and miserable, and the weight flies off, and then it slows down, and you lose 30-40 pounds in a month, and then it slows, and then you're not sleeping and you're miserable, and you come off the diet and you eat a little bit of food and gain the weight back. There's that version. And then there's the version I do now where if I want to cut for a movie or a photo shoot, I go into a very, very slight caloric deficit, and I aim for 1.5 pounds a week. That's it. That's all the weight I want to lose. And it's easy. It's not real hard, and my body's never freaking out. Now, 3 months in, I'm really hungry, and I go into a maintenance period, and my body chills out, and the hunger goes away, and all the hormones balance out, and I'm now feeling great, and I'm sleeping great, and then I can start dieting again. That's basically the idea behind maintenance periods.
And so if I were to just ask you then a follow-up question to make it like you could describe a maintenance period, could you describe a maintenance period as simply as increasing some calories but not gaining, like, to a point so that you can maintain and not gain weight? Because like
Yeah, it's still a diet, because
yeah,
if we're not restricting at all, because we're how we are, we're going to gain weight. So it's
right.
not there in the sense of the word that diet means what you eat, or a restricted version of what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
This is still a restricted version of what you eat, except you are intentionally not losing weight. You're also intentionally not gaining weight. They're actually pretty fucking tough to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
because I was very much a feast or famine guy, where I'm either losing weight as quickly as possible or gaining weight. I had no understanding of maintenance. It wasn't kind of innate to me. So I had to learn it. And the maintenance periods in dieting were super helpful.
Yeah. Awesome. Every time you talk about it, I am happy to hear you talk about it. Thank you for that question. And if anybody else has a question out there that you would like Ethan to answer on American Glutton, you can email it to us. You just email hello@americanglutton.net.
Hello.
Hello.